Eden Zero Chapter 213 was amazing, and it also broke my heart. I did not expect this arc to break my heart again, just like in the previous arc, but Mashima somehow managed to do it, and I don't know how to process everything too much. It's just all been way too sudden, too many things happened this chapter, but it flowed pretty well. Overall, really great chapter, and I'm going to get into that in a second. So let's just hit that intro and get right into the Eden Zero chapter. Eden Zero Chapter 213, titled, If We Don't Have to Fight. Which is honestly kind of the big theme of this chapter, with certain dialogue choices and with the characters that we primarily focus on. We start off from last week after Elsie declared that she was going to take Mobius as she lands on the surface of Lendard. As Justice points out that doesn't seem like the Elsie that he knows, that she's radiating an ether that's just filled with hatred. We see the planet beginning to seemingly activate once Elsie landed her hand on the surface, as she just straight up says, "O great land of Lendard, my name is Elsie Le Lendard. I am the rightful heir of the throne of this planet. Remove all current command rights of Mobius from Shia, and transfer them to me." So yeah, she did say that she was going to take Mobius, and she is following up on that. Which, I like the fact that since Lendard is basically one giant living computer planet, that Elsie can literally just more or less use her like royal authority or whatever it is to just take control of the planet and its systems, like, right then and there. Why she didn't do that from the beginning, I don't know. Maybe she needed to, like, kill Shia, her mother, or some reason. I don't know. It's a whole thing. I feel like this should have been elaborated on, but it's nice from the moment, and I like it. Justice rushes towards Elsie, assuming that she's going to want to take control of all the dragons, and he says that he won't let her. Elsie says, "Elsie Le Lendard commands you." As Justice grabs her, she says, "Deactivate all dragons." Literally shocking Justice from her choice of words and her command for Mobius, as we see that Mobius is activated and is fulfilling its function. As we then see the dragons in the air begin to deactivate and they fall to the surface of Lendard. Every single one of them, because remember, they were created by Aknoella, Shia, Elsie's mother, so it makes sense that with Mobius basically being like the core hub of these dragons, I assume, that they would be deactivated all at once from a single command, which, very simple, very effective. I like that we don't have to deal with a huge armada of dragons, because that's just incredibly exhausting for all the characters that we have here, and it's already been a problem with these dragons beforehand. And we even get to see Feather and Eraser wondering what the heck is going on, and is also wondering if they stopped in space. As we cut back to Holdy's crew, as they confirm, yes, all the dragons around Lendard in space have been deactivated. So that's honestly really nice. We get a nice shot of the dragons just floating in space deactivated. Victory's like, so they managed to take out Aknoella. As we cut once more back to the planet of Lendard on the surface, as Justice is wondering why Elsie did this, as Elsie just calls out to Justice and his name James and just breaks down crying, saying, "I don't want to fight anyone anymore." With a shocked expression on Justice's face as Elsie just starts crying and bawling her eyes out. She has experienced so much throughout her life and just kept fighting and fighting and fighting. Even now, she literally killed her own mother to save everybody, but she lost her friends, her other family. She has no other family. She still has the Eden Zero crew, but still, she lost so many people. Her decisions caused a lot of problems. So she's just breaking down crying, not wanting to fight anymore. Justice just stares at her and just says, "I feel like I'm seeing the real you for the first time. No, maybe you were there all along, but I refused to see it." Thank you, Justice! It seems seeing the woman you love bawling her eyes out from all of her decisions and saving the world finally got through that thick skull of yours. So yeah, Justice is literally just, accepting the fact that Elsie is helping, and that she is still the Elsie that he once knew. He just refused to see it due through his, I assume, his hatred and his grudge. So yeah, that's the whole thing. I'm happy for that. We cut from that one emotional moment to the Eden Zero once more, as Hermit manages to find the video recording of Ziggy and Elsie the day they picked up Elsie. She begins to say, "This is the conversation I overlooked at the time." We see some panels of Elsie and Ziggy nodding and reacting, as Ziggy tells Elsie, "Then one day you'll give this ship to Shiki." As Hermit is like, "None of us realized it back then. Not Ziggy, not Elsie, not me. But looking back now, none of it makes sense." We continue the conversation as Elsie's like, "I can do that for you, but if the ship is so important, shouldn't you keep it at Granbell?" Ziggy's like, "Granbell is a theme park. We get way too many visitors. A small craft to be one thing, but I can't keep a big ship there." Hermit begins to think, the real enemy. If my guess is right, then that is not good news. So it's very possible that Ziggy was kind of subconsciously planning ahead to keep the Eden Zero away from what the true enemy is. Because, again, this arc, Ziggy wanted the Eden Zero for Ethereon. So it's very possible he just didn't want the ship anywhere near Granbell for it to be handled in the wrong hands. You never know. It's a lot of stuff's been set up, especially with how Pino was the key to getting back the real Ziggy. But yeah, I still can't figure everything out. I gotta look back on the series once more to see if there's any context clues of who this main villain is. And I'm very curious because we're definitely gonna get this reveal when this arc officially ends. But enough of the speculation, as we cut back to Shiki and Ziggy, as Ziggy is just crying, asking Shiki to put him out of his misery. Shiki is struggling with this realization and his decision, as Ziggy goes on to say, "If you don't destroy me now, blank will possess me again. I'll hurt even more people." But she's like, "Wait, we can fix you. Why not put you back to normal?" But Ziggy shoots that down, saying that him and this enemy are too deeply connected at this point. As then Ziggy begins to go back into overdrive, and his personality is beginning to lose to this other personality, as he is slowly being swallowed up again. Now Shiki is calling out to his grandfather, as Ziggy continues to say, "There's no time." Pino's staring at Ziggy, as the only thing our Ziggy says left is calling out to Shiki, saying, "You swore you would beat me, didn't you? So that you'd never lose anyone again." That is what Shiki told Ziggy when they went to confront him, and yeah, this makes sense. As Ziggy just says, "That's what it is." As then, the evil Ziggy shows up once more in overdrive, stating, "Time's up." And this is a very menacing panel. The good Ziggy is now locked away once more, as the evil Ziggy has taken control again. But he wastes no time, as he then encases Pino in a somewhat gravitational force field, trapping her. As he says, "You made this happen through your weakness," referring to Shiki not killing Ziggy when he had the chance. Again, this is like a mistake that Elsie made, but this is more of Shiki like coming to grips with the fact that his actual grandfather that he once knew was still in there. So I completely understand why Shiki was kind of like struggling with this idea. Shiki cries out to stop it, as Pino analyzes what's going on. It's a enigmatic gravitational field, and she can't get herself out. Ziggy just says, "You dare to defy me, little girl," as Pino looks up at Shiki as he's trying to break the force field, and the next panel kind of starts to break me. Pino begins to cry, saying, "It appears that my role has ended," as Shiki's just crying out to Pino, "You can't say that. How can you say that?" As Ziggy just says, "Be gone," with Pino's final words being, "If I'm born again someday, I hope to be," as Shiki is staring at her and trying to break her out of the force field, telling her not to give up, with the next page turning with her being completely evaporated and destroyed, with her final words being, "Human. If she was to be reborn again, she would want to be human." With nothing there. This broke me, man. This broke me. I love Pino. Pino was awesome, the most wholesome character in this entire series. And Mashima, you had to go and kill her. God damn, man. I did not expect Pino to be the one to die in this arc. But I guess the death flags were kind of there. But I did not want to believe it. But yeah, Shiki is just staring emptily at where Pino was, unable to save her. As he just says Pino's name, and the next page, his ether gear begins to creak up on him as he seems like he's about to enter overdrive, as he yells out in anger, pain, and just frustration as the area around him begins to crumble around. Ziggy points out to him, now there's no one to stop us. I'm ready, Shiki, come at me. With this one terrifying panel of Shiki's enraged, demonic looking eyes looking back towards Ziggy, turning back towards Ziggy, as the final page of the chapter is Shiki in a brand new overdrive state, punching a hole straight through Ziggy, ending the chapter. And my god, was this a really epic way to end the chapter. So, yeah, this chapter had a lot going on. Elsie managed to deactivate all the dragons, so that was good. She breaks down crying because she just does not want to fight anymore. She doesn't want to fight anybody anymore due to the fact that she had to fight her friend Ziggy. She had to kill her mother now, and she lost her friends in a very brutal way as they wanted to save her. And she's also responsible for, what happened to her home planet. So she's just tired of fighting, and she's kind of breaking down at this moment, finally just letting her weaker side, her insecurities manifest and just break down about what's going on. Justice is finally realizing that Elsie has always been the same person, and I guess it just took a whole lot to realize that. Hermit has figured out who the true culprit is, and the dialogue and the setup of the Eden Zero being with Elsie and Ziggy not leaving it on Grandmel leaves some clues to who it could possibly be. I still can't figure it out. If you guys have any ideas, let me know in the comments. And finally, this last section of the chapter, the most emotional part, was, Ziggy begging to be killed by Shiki before his evil persona takes hold again, but it's too late. And the evil Ziggy wastes no time in killing Pino in a very slow, yet fast, brutal manner. Just completely using a gravitational field to completely tear her apart in an instant, completely destroying her. As her last words with tears in her eyes is just, if she's reborn again, she wants to be human. With that just feeling of that pit of despair in Shiki, he lost someone precious to him again. And heck, Pino was basically the first person from the Eden Zero that he became friends with. Pino was with Shiki the longest outside of Rebecca, Wise, and Happy. He knew Pino more than the rest of the Shining Stars or Homura. So this is going to hit very, very hard. The two of them have a very strong bond. So this is just something I did not expect happening. I expected Pino to be one of the last surviving characters of this series. And that just broke my heart, man. But this final portion of the chapter, which Shiki unlocking his new overdrive state, which I have been saying for months that we're going to have to get some kind of new overdrive state for Shiki or the rest of the characters, because I like overdrive, it's really cool, but I feel like it isn't the end all be all. And this last overdrive form just looks sick as all hell, really demonic looking, fitting the title of Demon King. And I don't know what to expect from it. Shiki just full on rage mode and bust a hole through Ziggy. I don't think he just one-shot him. The fight's going to continue next chapter, because that's the only thing going on in this arc now, aside from the mystery of who the true enemy is. But man, oh man, that was a crazy chapter, my god. I did not expect things to go the way that they did. But this is Eden Zero. You should not expect things too often. Expect the unexpected. Mashima, you are really toying with our hearts right now, and I just can't begin to wonder what's going to happen next. I want to make a video on Shiki's new overdrive state at some point. I want to wait till this arc is over. All I can say is, this has been said by people online from the spoilers, apparently, that through Shiki's left eye in the design, it's possible Shiki is giving into the dark gravity that Xenolith once referred to. How emotions can influence how his gravity powers work. And the darker the emotions, the more he'll fall into the darkness of gravity. I want to see more of that. I feel like this is like Shiki's rage moment that I've wanted to see for so long. And I'm not going to lie, with how the brushstrokes were like, I mean, I feel like people are going to attack me for this, but this kind of reminds me of spoilers for the My Hero Academia manga for the war arc that doesn't happen in the anime yet. But that moment when Bakugo saves Deku from getting impaled and he gets impaled himself, and Deku's sheer rage moment from just the brush strokes of how detailed and dark Deku's face looks, going towards Shigaraki in a berserker rage. That was what I felt here with Shiki, just that raw emotion of anger, despair, and sadness in that one instance. And that transformation scene was honestly epic as all hell. But yeah, that was Eden Zero Chapter 213. I have no idea what's going to happen next. This arc has just been a roller coaster, and I see why Mashima seems to have been like rushing past Aknoella's fight and focusing once more on Shiki and Ziggy. I like the change of perspectives that we've had. But this was honestly really cool, and I can't wait to see more because this arc seems to be really wrapping up to its conclusion. I give it maybe like 5 chapters at least until the arc officially concludes. But yeah, what did you guys think of Eden Zero Chapter 213? What did you feel about Elsie's decision, about her breaking down? What do you think? Who do you think the main villain actually is based on whatever clues we have gotten? And also, tell me how heartbroken you are over Pino's death, and how hyped you are about Shiki's new Overdrive form. Leave your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. I love talking to you guys, and if there's something I missed, sometimes you guys will tell me what I missed, and it's just nice to talk with you guys in the comments. But like and subscribe, hit the notification bell for updates on future videos, it really does help, and I can't wait to see you guys next time.